It's about young people. This was the main focus, according to Instagram's head honcho Adam Mosseri back in April of 2019, when the overwhelmingly popular app announced they would be hiding the like count on posts from being seen by users browsing. The only ones who would be able to see the like count would be the account owner, the one who posted it. At first, it was being tested only in Canada. Eventually, they rolled this change out to other countries, including Brazil, Ireland, and Australia. By November, it was in over 7 different countries and was now headed for the US. It means we're going to put a 15-year-old kid's interests before a public speaker's interest, Mosseri explained to Wired.com when they first announced it would be coming to the US. As you can probably tell by now, the move was the company's attempt to improve the overall mental health of its users. Hiding like counts could potentially protect users' feelings if a post doesn't perform as well as they would have hoped. An out-of-sight, out-of-mind approach. Like any other social media site or app, likes, followers, and views are the dominant metrics that people look for to judge the popularity of someone's account. However, according to a handful of social media researchers, if a user's main focus leans towards strictly engagements, it almost always results in a toxic environment instead of a friendly conversation. This was an interesting idea, and by interesting, I mean confusing, as the company had decided to try and get back to Instagram's original goals of connecting with others and keeping up to date with friends, family, and interests by sharing photos, instead of competing for likes. So, a whole 2 years later, there's just one question to ask. Did it work? Welcome to this week's Media Moment. Spoiler alert, it didn't help. At least, not really. How anticlimactic. According to a blog post put out by Instagram on May 26th, their attempt at, quote, depressurizing people's experience on Instagram was beneficial to some, while others found it quite irritating. In a statement during a press conference, Mosseri said, "It turned out that it didn't actually change nearly as much about how people felt or how much they used the experience as we thought it would." Shocker. They didn't exactly present a majority or a minority, so we'll never know whether it was more beneficial or more annoying. For those who claim they found it annoying to not be able to view like counts, their argument was that they utilized these numbers to establish what was popular or trending. That makes sense, as users who rely on internet trends for their own content creation can see which content is being consumed the most and attempt to join the party. Those who found it beneficial, well, it can be assumed that they might have had a less stressful experience when browsing. Despite spending 2 years on this project, if you can even call it that, they've basically gone back to square one. The only difference, from now on, users will have a choice of whether or not they want to see how many likes a post gets. That's right, a simple addition to the settings. Wouldn't that have just been the logical choice the first time around? Furthermore, if the overall goal was to improve the mental health of users by shielding them from a post that didn't perform well, why were the post owners still allowed to see the number of likes? That's the complete opposite of what they were trying to accomplish. My brain hurts. Regardless, the experiment, that's the right word, not project, has shown that the overall needs of Instagram users are so specific that implementing changes that impact everyone can sometimes make the experience less enjoyable overall, even if the intentions were good. One thing that everyone does have in common is the ability to choose, being able to tailor an experience exactly how an individual wants as opposed to choosing for them. Overall, social media has provided its users with plenty of good and plenty of bad. Just like anything new, it takes time to iron out the kinks. If you do use Instagram, be prepared for several more changes to come in the future. Let's just hope they grant us the freedom to choose whether or not we want to participate.